here are my tips on how to break up a dog fight. I've got the infamous lion here, and then also my other friend, this little stuffed Dalmatian down there below. So for the time being, we're going to pretend that there's a fight happening here going on. All right. First rule of thumb, okay, if your dog is on a harness and this has started, we are not taking the leash and pulling back. This will actually make it so the dog wants to go harder at the other dog. So by pulling back, it creates this mechanism, this pulling back, and it makes the dog want to reach out, grab, and probably grip even more. So we don't want to do that. Number two, never stick your hand directly down into the melee down here. Your hand will become collateral damage. I hear it all the time with people getting bitten because they're trying to physically break it up with their hands, and both mouths are going crazy at each other in there. So also I've heard people talk about wheelbarrowing, grabbing the hind feet of the dog that's doing the attacking and pulling back. Again, that's going to make this dog, in my experience, go at the other one even harder. And of course, we hear people all the time that there's kicking and everything going on. If you think about it too, if two dogs are fighting and they're starting to feel pain and elsewhere, guess what's going to happen? They're going to go even harder. And here's the most important thing. Please don't scream and yell, because that's just going to add to the energy, and that's going to be like fuel on the fire. So here are my tips. Number one, let's say your dog is on a harness and they are hooked here and the dogs start fighting. What I'm actually going to do in this moment is probably take this leash off, pass it under as quickly as I can, back up around the top, cross it over once, and I'm going to cut off the airflow. This is not going to kill your dog, but we need a moment here. We need an absolute moment that we can break the dog's fight up. So here what happens is, in a moment, or at some point, the dog will start to let go. And then if they do have a harness on, then you can grab and move and then releash them over there. Okay, so that's an option. The second option is hook this back up. Second option is if your dog has a collar on, and forgive me because I didn't have a collar the right size to fit a lion. If your dog has a collar on, you can always reach down in, if you watch my hand, and then I'm going to twist. So this will tighten the collar, again, restrict some of the blood flow, the air going to the dog's brain. Again, this is not pretty. Listen, it's not pretty at all. But we certainly don't want one dog killing another dog. And by doing this, moments, just long enough to create a break in the action, gives us time to remove and get the dog away. So now here's the other part of it too. If you are in this mix, there's no leash. Let's say there's no harness on the dog. Let's say there's no collar on the dog, which ideally, this is a mistake. You shouldn't be doing all this kind of stuff without some sort of layer on your dog that you can grab a hold of them. But if there's nothing, then you have to think about your environment. For me, I'm always one to wear a belt. So this can be used the same way that we just did our leash, to where this gets brought up. And same thing, we're crossing to restrict the airflow. So those are a few of the ways that we can break up a dog fight. I hope and I pray that you never, ever have to deal with this. But if you do, hopefully a couple things that I've pointed out here will give you an idea as to what to do. So if you have any questions, leave it in the comments. More than happy to answer any questions for you.